Yo, what's good, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you guys for tuning in for the lovely WWE Evolution 2025 review with the results as well for the actual show. More importantly, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, turn on post notification bells. More importantly, I'm your host, DaVon. Thank you guys for tuning in for another edition for a review when it comes to keeping things all nitty gritty, everything so saucy in the land of professional wrestling. More importantly, I appreciate you guys coming through on the top of the hour of this lovely evening. But we're going to dive into the actual show. More importantly, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to kick it off into the triple threat match for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. It was Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Lyra Valkyria throwing down in the women's division in a triple threat match. It was everything you could have asked for in a bag of chips, but these ladies put on a clinic, and it was everything you could have asked for and more when it came to everything that had to transition with the women's division. These ladies did everything they possibly can to keep us highly entertained all the way from the beginning to the end. But more importantly, I was highly invested and I want to see more of what they was going to put on the card. Bayley held her own and she controlled the majority of the match. Becky Lynch was the MVP all the way down to the end to come off victorious. And the rookie Lyra Valkyria held her own much as she could until she got caught off guard. And Becky Lynch won the win with a lovely schoolgirl and was able to secure the victory over Bayley and was able to transition from there. But it was everything you could have asked for. Congratulations once again to Becky Lynch, the man, for securing the victory, lining them up, stacking up the win, and getting the victory. I know this feud continues going to spill over all the way to SummerSlam, but we got to see where Becky Lynch feels about it this coming Monday night on Raw. She may bicker and complain and say she's pretty much done. She's done everything she possibly can to handle these ladies, and she's not looking to see these ladies once again when it came to the overall feel of how things had transitioned. But big props to her for holding her own, taking care of business, and going from there. Where does Bayley go from here? I feel like she still could stack up into the Intercontinental Women's Division and try to own her own right and make that claim to become the new Intercontinental Champion. It's the only title she hasn't got yet, but it has avoided her in so many big ways. And I would love to see Bayley down the line in the near future become the Women's Intercontinental Champion as well as the United States Champion. And she would be the belt collector, catching all the titles majorly in WWE. But let's go ahead and move along into the next match. It was the NXT Women's Championship. We had Jacy Jayne along with her fellow women, Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, she took on the likes of Jordan Grace, who's company with Blake Monroe. But it was everything with a bag of chips when it came to everything you could have asked for and more. Those ladies put on a clinic. It was a lot of back and forth. The smooth transition of the match started off very slow, but it was everything you could have asked for all the way down to the wire when Blake Monroe screwed over Jordan Grace and hit her with the belt. And Jacy Jayne was able to secure the victory and capitalize on how things had transitioned and got the pinfall over the Juggernaut. Where things go from here, it could be very, very interesting. But I truly look forward to seeing what may actually happen when it comes to the women's division. But congratulations to Jacy Jayne. I know a lot of people was sleeping on Jacy Jayne in the long run, but I feel like she's a big time player when it comes to the women's division. She is someone you really do not want to sleep on. But the feud looks like it's going to step in a big direction when it comes to Blake Monroe and the Juggernaut currently of Jordan Grace. Those two are going to headbutt, and you know it's going to be a wrestling clinic. But you know it's going to be a smooth transition as the way how things may come about when it comes to those ladies. Jacy Jayne now is not a stepping stone. Pretty much the commentators were kind of making fun like she was a weak link of a women's champion. Even though it was a cheat by hook by crook, she still was able to secure the victory, and it was a good win when it came to Jacy Jayne. Congratulations by retaining the WWE Women's NXT Champion. But let's go ahead and move along to the Fatal 4-Way match, which was Calm, Cool, and Collective. It was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship as we had the Judgment Day members of Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez taking on Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Solo Ruka, along with her tag team partner Zarya, and the Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane. It was everything you could have asked for in a bag of chips. Them ladies put on a clinic. They highly kept us invested through the course of this tag team match. But you know they left nothing unturned when it came to this tag team match. It was a great transition. A lot of chemistry between all these ladies. They left nothing left on the table. But it was a lot of back and forth. Prop spots. Zarya was the big juggernaut in the match. Charlotte Flair really was the MVP throughout the course of the match. She did everything she possibly can to help Alexa Bliss, but they came up short when it came to everything that took place. And then the Judgment Day took care of business in the best way they possibly can and came out victorious by still retaining the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Looks like we're still going to have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss chasing the gold currently at the moment. They're still working on those kinks. The chemistry should be on par, but I look forward to seeing what may happen when it comes to that tag team. Zarya and Solo Ruka had a miscommunication where Zarya hit her with a big spear. What's going to happen on NXT Tuesday? Is Solo Ruka going to blame her for what may happen or occur? Or are they still going to be on good terms? We just got to tune in to Tuesday for NXT. The Kabuki Warriors are always going to be there when it comes to the tag team division. Looks like they're keeping Asuka and Kairi Sane as the tag team currently right now. There's no plans in the creative to make them single stars at the moment. But they did basically everything they possibly can to get the upper hand, cut off the ring. But they came up short when it came to everything that took place. But I look forward to seeing what may actually happen when it comes to the women's division. And it truly was everything you could have asked for in a bag of chips. But let's go ahead and dive into the women's championship match as we're going to move along. As we have Tiffany Stratton taking on the legendary Trish Stratus in a big field match. It was everything you could have asked for and more. Them ladies put on a clinic. They held their own throughout the course of the match. Tiffany Stratton held her own against Trish Stratus. These ladies was basically a carbon copy paste of each other and more. We also got to saw a highlight of Trish Stratus doing an offense move homage to Lita, but she failed. But on top of it, it was everything you could ask for and more, as Tiffany Stratton came out victorious and was able to retain the championship after a hard-fought victory over Trish Stratus. This is a big checklist off as she beat the legendary Trish Stratus. This is somebody she always wanted to face. They were originally tag team partners for a good little minute when Trish came back, and they solved it right there and there in singles action. And it was everything you could have asked for. That match was really, really good, and you couldn't miss any of it whatsoever when it came to Tiffany Stratton, as well as when it came down to the wire of the match that you could have asked for. But let's go ahead and switch gears up into something that really, really took place. The No Holds Bar match. With Bianca Belair being a special guest referee, it was everything you could have asked for and more. As we had Jade Cargill taking on Naomi in a big field match. This match was hardcore all around the board when it came to this actual match. Bianca came out with a nice referee attire outfit. Naomi continued to proceed with caution with everything she possibly could. This was one of the better Jade Cargill hardcore matches we haven't seen her in. And this match went the distance from all the prop spots, tables being broken, everything that you actually would have seen when it comes to this match. It was a very different from both Naomi and Jade Cargill. But the cherry on top, Jade Cargill was able to overcome the caution and was able to secure the victory with a jaded through a table and was able to secure the victory with the 1-2-3. It was good for what it was. Naomi's emotions were all over the place. Bianca, same thing. She was trying to decide which friend to care for, but she cared for them both deeply. But seeing two of the big three going at it was something that broke her heart. But a lot of people thought that Bianca was going to turn heel in this match, but it did not happen. Where we go from here, we got to see how things continue to transition. But the queen of the ring, Jade Cargill, took care of business the best way she possibly can. She took care of Naomi's problem, busted her up in the nose as well on the face, and things really hit a chord to the way how I thought it was going to take place. But in overall, it was a good match for what you really could have asked for and more. And I had enjoyed the full presentation of that hardcore, no holds bars match the ladies put on the clinic. And congratulations against Jade Cargill for getting the victory. But things got more interesting with this 20-woman battle royal that took place. It was a lot. It was all over the place. Not going to sugarcoat it for you guys. You guys would probably be highly disappointed with the way how things had transitioned. But it was all right for what it was. It wasn't not too bad, not too shabby for what it was, just all over for what it could have been or what it actually was. But in overall, it was calm, cool, and collective. It did its job for what it was. More importantly, it kept me highly invested through the course of the actual match. We had a lot of women being involved in this actual women's 20-man battle royal. I'm going to go through the breakdown of who was all involved, but what the stipulation was, the winner of the match was going to receive a WWE women's title match at Clash of the Paris. We had Nikki Bella involved, Chelsea Green, Piper Niven, Alba Fire, Natalia, Maxine Dupree, Jada Parker, Last Legend, Lola Vice, Zelina Vega, who came out with a little bit of an attitude. She was gunning for Julia, Kalani Jordan, Tatum Paxley, along with Izzy Dame, B Fab, Mi Chan, Ivy Niles, Candice LeRae, Nia Jax, and of course Stephanie Valkyrie and the W Women's United States Champion Julia, who was all involved when it came to this overall match. It was a lot of fun seeing how this match took place. These ladies put on a clinic. It was a lot of back and forth, a lot of fun when it came to the overall feel of this match. Nia Jax was the MVP, eliminating women left and right. Last Legend did her thing as well throughout the course of the match. Kalani Jordan did a prop spot, doing a headstand and then pulling herself back directly into the ring. Jada Parker was doing her thing, and people were chanting for Jada in this actual match. But when it came down to the wire, the big one came off victorious. As we have Stephanie Valkyrie coming off victorious and now earns a spot as the number one contender for a future date at Clash of the Paris. You know it's going to be a big overall show. I look forward to seeing what may actually happen, how things may actually transition. More importantly, keeping us highly invested through the course of the match. But it was everything you could have asked for and more, even with a full bag of chips. And it was good. It was good that for what you really wanted, and you couldn't ask for anything better throughout the course of that actual match. Now the question is, who is she going to challenge? Is she going to go against Io Sky, or is she going to go for Tiffany Stratton? We got to tune in and see how that may unfold, but we got to tune in as the coming weeks come apart when we get ready for Clash of Paris in the near future. But we got SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer, is coming around the corner, and you know it's going to be a big feel when it comes to that actual event. Now we got to get ready for the big one, the main event of the night. It was for the Women's World Championship, as we have Rhea Ripley and the Genius of the Sky, no other than Io Sky, getting it on when it came to everything that took place. These ladies put on a clinic. I mean, from everything that took place in the ring, the back and forth, the wrestling was on par. They even brawled on the outside. The referee, Jessica Carr, was taken out by Io Sky with a drop kick, kicking off one of the biggest shockers of them all, which we ended up having Naomi coming down there and cashing in her money in the bank briefcase, and she put things on display. And she successfully cashed in, took advantage of this three-way, and she was able to become off victorious and become the new WWE Women's World Heavyweight Champion. I know a lot of people thought she was gunning for Tiffany Stratton. She switched it very, very quickly, proceeded with caution, and handled business the way she possibly can. As the show ended, we had not Bianca Belair, but Rhea Ripley and Io Sky have a nice, great moment as they basically hugged and said we main evented a Evolution, and then of course with a full standing ovation. But congratulations to the new Women's World Heavyweight Champion Naomi. She proceeded like caution. She got people off with hook by crook. She handled business even after a brutal match with Jade Cargill. Now we gotta see what Jade Cargill feels about this whole entire situation that took place. But I look forward to seeing what may actually happen in the long run. But I look forward to seeing what may take place. But it was a good show. And overall, I'm gonna give it a solid 8.5 out of 10 stars for the overall feel of the actual show. It was good for what it was. I enjoyed the transition moves, the lot of back and forth, the way how these ladies were storytelling on short notice, still got the job done. All the way down to the beginning of the Intercontinental Women's Championship, where Becky Lynch came out victorious, down to the no-holds bar between Jade Cargill and Naomi hit the swerve with the bait switch and became the Women's World Heavyweight Champion at the end, and cashed in on Io Sky and Rhea Ripley at the end. Also, what's going to happen on blue and red brand? It's been shaken up in a big way. NXT, we also got JC Jane now have to get ready to switch things up as she prepares for a title versus title match against the NXT Women's Champion. I believe it's Masha Slamovich, and that's going to be a good one in the next coming weeks, and we got to see what may happen with that actual overall feel. But if you enjoyed this actual review, go ahead and give a lovely thumbs up and let me know how you feel about the overall video. Don't forget to click the next video right here, as I have available no other than AEW's All In 2025 review. Appreciate you guys coming through. Until the next episode, I will catch you guys later. Peace.